Hi, I am Yogesh Sripati Mitkal and today's date is 11th September 2021 and today's video topic is SQL. The SQL is a structured query language. It is used to perform the operations on the recorded store the database in such that we are updating records, inserting records, add record, delete record and creating and modifying the database tables and views, etc. SQL is not a database system, but it is a query language. So, suppose we want to perform the queries of SQL language on the stored data in the database. You are required to install any database management system in your system. So there are the many database systems which are present in that the programming world. The first of all we are used to Oracle. Second is MySQL, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, DB2, etc. are the tools which are used to the SQL handle the database. So first of all we use the why SQL. In that, the SQL is a short form of the SQL is a structured query language, and it is pronounced as a SQL or a SQL language. Now, this database language is mainly designed for the maintaining the data in a relational database management system. It is a special tool used by the data professional for handling the structured data. In that, the data which are stored in the tables. It is also designed for the stream processing in a RDSMS. So you can easily create and manipulate the database access and modify the table, rows and columns, etc. This query language become the standard of an ANSI which are in the 1986 and also a modified language in that the ISO in 1987. If you want to get a job in a field of the data science, then it is most important. The SQL language is very important in that case. But there are the big enterprises like this Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or etc. We are use the SQL language at the backend. Now, in the nowadays, the SQL is widely used in data science and analytics. There are the some reasons which are explained why it is widely used in a SQL language. The basic use of the SQL for the data professional and SQL user to insert, update and delete the data from the relational database. The SQL allows the data professionals and used to retrieve the data from the relational database management system. It also helps them to describe the structured data. It allows the SQL users to create, drop and manipulate the database and its tables. It also helps in the creating a view, stored procedure and functions in a relational database system. It allows you to define the data and modify the store the data in the relational database. It also allows SQL users to set the permissions or constraint on table columns, views and stored procedure. There are the history of the SQL. A relational model of the data for a large shared database was a paper which was published by the great computer scientist E.F. Codd in 1970. The IBM researchers Raymond Boyce and Donald Chamberlain originally developed the SQL, means the structured English query language. After learning from the paper given by the E.F. Codd, they both developed the SQL at the St. Joe's Research Laboratory of IBM Corporation in 1970. At the end of 1970, the relational softwares etc. developed their own first SQL language, and the concept of E.F. Codd and Raymond Boyce and Donald Chamberlain. This SQL was totally based on the relational database management system. That's mean the relational softwares, which is known as the Oracle Corporations and introduced the Oracle V2 in 1979, which is the first implementation of the SQL language. So The process of the SQL means when we executing the command on of SQL and any relational database management system, then the system automatically finds the best routine to carry out the request, and SQL engine determines how to interpret the particular command. So this is all about the SQL in SQL language. Okay, that's all about the SQL.